So everybody's drinking this Wellness Week Live. Everybody's drinking these energy drinks. We're just going to say that. We're not going to name names. But everybody's drinking these energy drinks, Magnus, and it's like, I don't understand. Like, what's the whole thing about these energy drinks, you know?
Yeah.
So, and they've kind of been around forever. But what's up, everybody? Wellness Week Live. I am your host, DJ Anthony, East Coast, Magnus, PhD, West Coast, Wellness Week Live. Hey, don't forget, we're two friends talking. We're not giving any medical advice. Always check with healthcare professionals. We're just talking. Okay. So yeah, I've been seeing these energy drinks, and I'm like, dude, wow, they're really, really being pushed, especially on kids,
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh, I wonder, like, yes, I did a little research on them, and yeah, really, they're not good to drink. I mean, like, here we go again, man-made versus God-made, and yeah, it's not good. And then our second topic today is just mental health. There was unfortunately, a famous soap opera actor, young man, 43 years old, unfortunately took his life, and suicide is, yeah, obviously the worst thing that one can do to themselves. But I want to talk about also, because I think people think, well, if I'm not going to kill myself, if I'm not suicidal, then I'm mentally just fine. No, it's a scale. And I would say we all have stress and anxiety, which is mental health, mind health. And how do we take care of it? Okay, so let's talk about the energy drinks. So, Magnus, do you drink these energy drinks too, or no?
No.
Me neither.
Flat. Like there's. Oh, I might do it if I'm traveling and like going across like a lot of time change. I used to do it like especially going when I was like living in Sweden and visiting the state and going back to Sweden. I might just do it to keep myself awake. And usually I drank like maybe a third of one just to get like a little bit. I'm not a coffee guy, so just kind of like a slight pick me up. But they're they're so bad.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just
I
gonna
would
be.
say
I'm gonna
drink
just come out.
coffee.
They're so bad.
I would say drink coffee before you drink these drinks, because there's so many chemicals and dyes, and we're not even talking about. I mean, I was doing some research. One of the most popular energy drinks out there in the market today has 200 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah,
A regular cup of coffee has 95, so you're
yeah.
getting double the amount of caffeine. And usually these are like
Is that
12.
per serving too or per can?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
Oh,
so that
might be
yeah.
four.
So sometimes because sometimes it might be more than one serving in a can.
You're right. Could be
They're,
two servings, right?
yeah, they're tricking you. I know that some of them even have, I think it's 200 milligrams per can, but some of them have like over 300. And yeah, so it's insane. And what people don't understand is that that's a lot. That's so
Especially you
much
have
caffeine.
12, 13-year-old boys drinking this, 14,
Yes.
15, 16-year-old boys, typically boys, some girls,
Yeah.
but typically boys. And yeah, it's like, I think parents don't realize this. Parents think, well, it's sold in the convenience store, so it must be totally safe.
Yeah.
And it's not. So what
It's
is it?
soda. A lot of people see it as soda.
Right. And that'd be an interesting thing. I didn't look it up, but I mean, what is the amount of caffeine in a energy drink versus a soda? I'm sure it's
Yeah.
probably pretty similar, but it's garbage. I mean, and I would say, and you got people who are like, oh, I'm going to go weightlifting and hit it in the gym and let me get my, energy drink. It's like, dude, first off, you're not competing in the Olympias. Like, stop. Okay. I mean, but
No,
yeah,
I think like you start to see that, especially like we also, instead of just doing the can versions, they also have the pre-workouts like the PVOs. So for me, it's like I don't get it, and also oh no, I get that good tingling like sensation. Yeah, and you also have an issue that you might poop yourself, and also that you're like, oh, my face is tingling when I'm drinking it. Like I do not understand the joy of it, and then also like, oh, but I have so much, I can lift so much more.
that's not
No,
even direct. Yeah.
no, you can't. And then the thing is, what
That's
you're
psychosomatic.
and also what you're doing is basically just like fake energy. It's not like your body's not creating more energy, you're just getting a stimulant.
Yeah.
And I mean, like we're talking about like stimulants that are similar to like chemically almost like amphetamine, some of them,
Right.
and some of the pre-workouts have actually been like tainted with like all sorts of actually amphetamine like chemicals. So like, and I know like people that have issues with it, like they actually have mental issues with it
Of
while
course, it's a
drinking.
drug.
Yeah, and also like they get paranoid. They have severe shakes. They also have like withdrawal symptoms when they stop using them. So I'm like, I for me it's like I never understood the the need for them. For me, it's like, well, if you're that tired, obviously you need to start focusing more on your recovery and your sleep.
Well, I was about to say, but nobody wants to hear that because sleep is what you need to have energy.
Yeah,
Get 8 hours of sleep. And people say, "Oh, I don't get the time." Listen, everybody's busy. You make the time, and that's the best thing to do is get the sleep. And if anything, I maybe have some coffee, fine, But these drinks are just you're gonna hurt. Listen, take it from me. I mean, I used to drink up to 6 cups of coffee a day, and it literally put me in the hospital because I was having panic attacks. And I'm already a high strung person, and what I found is getting off that coffee when I would get nervous or when I do get nervous and anxious, I never cross the threshold anymore into like panic because the coffee was that accelerant. And
yeah.
so I don't know. I would just stay away from it, folks. I don't. It's not good. It's getting God made over man made. Always pick God made. Have some coffee, maybe.
The scary part is now is that, like you said, they're starting to gear it more and more towards kids. Like the age is just getting younger and younger and younger of who their buyers are and who they're trying to sell it to, and like it's bad. The other thing that we should add, like people, oh, I wear, like I drink it for sports enhancement drinking. Okay, first of all, it's way too concentrated.
Yeah.
So what happens when you drink it? It basically sits in your gut. Then you need to be diluted to actually get out into your intestine. So what your body usually do commonly, it's pulling water from other organs around it. So you've actually becoming more and more dehydrated
Right.
because you're
The
pulling it in.
caffeine dehydrates. Yeah.
Yeah, you and also you're pulling in like liquid water into your stomach to dilute it, so you're able to get it into basically to your intestines. So it's something called isotonic solution that you need. So basically that it basically is about the same concentration that you have in your body for it to actually get released from your stomach into your intestine. So if you're not drinking a ton of water with it, it's just gonna sit in your stomach and it's probably gonna start feeling like pretty bad.
Right. And I would say,
So
parents, to read the back of these bottles. I mean, you're buying it for your kids. At
yeah,
least read the back of the shit that you're giving them.
yeah.
It's and yeah. I mean, take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, like doing some research, and I think, like, I don't know, we talked about this briefly before. I think that they might be one of the companies is getting sued because not because of like the amount that they're in, but that they're gearing it towards kids more, which I think is horrendous. It's the same thing when you're seeing e-cigarettes and things like that are geared towards like kids nowadays, also with all these weird like flavors and so on. And I mean, you're trying to hook young people into something that they should probably not be doing, and they might be basically misusing it for the rest of their life. And
100%.
yeah, so I'm always, and also that's also something that I think is so weird too when we're looking, for instance, at Starbucks, that a lot of the things that it's geared towards younger kids nowadays too, because okay, the parents go and get something and of course they need to buy something for their kids. What they don't understand is basically you are basically, it's caffeine first, but it's also so much sugar and fat. It's basically like you're giving them candy, constantly giving them a bunch of candy.
Right.
And it has nothing, it's again, it's not healthy. Like it's
Yeah.
because it's you have all the syrups, the sugars, the
Yeah.
cream,
But you know what?
and
You
so
got
on.
these parents giving it to them, and most of the parents aren't healthy either. They live on crap food, and they fried this, fried that. So yeah,
Yeah.
look at the source. And again, yeah, folks, just read the back of the labels. All right. So Magnus, before we move on, anything else you want to add to that?
No, no, no. Again, like I wouldn't like. I would never give, and I never tell anybody to use it. I think it's just a waste of time and money. Like if you're that tired again, I think that you should actually go get some sleep and
Yeah.
actually start thinking.
Hydration, sleep.
Yeah, and
Yep. Exercise. Yeah.
having an understanding what you need to do, like do the right thing. You know that you probably need more sleep, so actually get more sleep.
100%. All right. So the next topic was I saw in the news today, and it's kind of sad, but you see it so much, right? It's like, this actor or this athlete, suicide, suicide, suicide. And so today, unfortunately, a young actor, young man out of New York, 43-year-old Billy Miller, an actor best known for his role in the soap opera The Young and the Restless, took his life, I guess, earlier today or yesterday. And, again, this just scores how important mental health is. And I think anyone watching this might be like, well, come on, suicide, that doesn't happen to everybody, which is true. It's actually a very small percentage of our population. However, that doesn't mean you don't have a mental issue or mind issue. You could have stress. You can have anxiety. You can have, you're worried about your job. That you need to take care of, because I think Americans, we only want to work on something when it's like,
when
a
it's
car
already
crash.
too late.
Yeah, a car crash, and then we want to service the car. It's like, you crashed the car. Like, you should have had the brakes serviced, and you wouldn't have crashed the car. The brakes would have worked. So
yeah, and not just that. I think like we're missing out another point is like chemical imbalances, and I think a lot of those things comes also from bringing it back, bridging it back to like energy drinks and all that. It has a lot to do with the food that we're eating.
Of
that
course.
More and more food is processed, and we're not getting enough nutrients.
Our
so we're starting to get
lifestyles.
more imbalances. Our lifestyle.
We don't have actual friend connections.
Yeah, and social media is like one thing. Could you imagine if social media actually like was teaching people about like helping each other, mental health, things like that? Yes, it's there, but it's such a smaller margin.
Right.
Instead of like nowadays, we're getting taught about like it's used for cyberbullying,
right.
and basically trying to get us hating each other because of an opinion to somewhere.
Yeah, usually it's the bring the. However, I will say this was kind of unfortunate and scary because they said that the actor Billy Miller was being treated, and everyone knew about it. Wasn't a secret, that he was suicidal and depressed, and he had a lot of mental issues, and he did everything he could. The family or the friends were saying, and this is where it kind of gets sad. It's like, wow, at its worst, depression is like a mental cancer, and you might beat it, you might not. And I know of a person actually that I went to high school with, and he too, took his own life, and he was on medication. He was seeing the therapist. He did everything right, and he unfortunately succumbed to really the disease. It's kind of like that. It's like sometimes people fight cancer the best they can and they still pass away. And then, there's a lot of people who beat cancer. And I think we have to understand and see mental illness as that, and I would throw in not only because you could be not suicidal. Okay. So, because I don't want people to think, well, I'm not suicidal, so I'm fine. Listen, again, if you have stress, you need to address that, and I'm not talking about you get stressed out for one day. If it's a constant stress day after day and every day you have to have a drink, or, your relationships are suffering, or you don't want to see that you're snapping at people, or you're sad, you're not suicidal, but if it's a pattern, you got to get help. You got to talk to a therapist. You got to look at your nutrition. You got to look at, are you exercising? I mean, it's a whole holistic thing. You got to see, and guys, more importantly, because women typically are better at this, but us guys, shut up, just suck it up. But who's taking their lives more often than not? It's usually men. Yes, women do it too. But let's be honest, I would say 9 out of 10 stories are the guys. You know, and that says something. It says that women are better at getting help, and men are not. Again, this young man.
And also, I think that women are better at actually communicating if they have an issue with their friends too, and
men don't, and they let it build up. Yeah. By the way, I mean, look, may this guy Billy Miller rest in peace. He did everything right, but more often than not, guys don't do anything right. They just suffer and they drink it away, or they gamble, or they just, I don't know, drone. And again, I'm not talking about necessarily suicide. Again, it could just be you're miserable, and you can't say, oh, if I had $1 million, it'll go away. No, that's not true. You need to get help, and there's free help. You need to talk. You need to connect with people. It's so important, and your family needs you, your friends need you, et cetera, et cetera. So, anyways, but
Yeah,
Magnus, anything else?
but that's the thing, though. I think with when we're talking about mental illness and stress and things like that, it's so slippery. And like, if I break my arm, I'm like, well, my arm hurts really, really bad. It's swollen. Oh, let's go take an X-ray. Oh, we can see that it's broken. You can't really X-ray your brain, right? And say, oh, of course you can X-ray your brain, but like what I'm saying is that you can't really see like
Right.
what is actually
Why are you
happening.
sad? What's
Yeah,
making you bipolar or depressed or suicidal?
and also how certain things like pieces can be combined and become so much worse, like drastically, really, really quick.
Oh yeah. I
And
mean,
and
again, you got to take care of you, right?
yeah, and again, like I said, coming back to like a lot of people have like the chemical imbalances and things like that. And what we don't understand is that our bodies are still a very delicate system.
Yeah.
So adding like medicine and things like that might cause other issues too that can
Right.
make
Some
things
medicines make you suicidal, by the way.
yes, a lot of them do. So that's like a
Talk to a
byproduct.
nutritionist, talk to a dietitian, talk to a
Yeah,
trainer, talk to a priest, a rabbi, an imam,
yeah.
talk to. By the way,
Also when it comes to like holistic like healthcare, like having doctors that understand like
right.
see like as a whole and start looking into it. Well, okay, yeah, well, if you eat this medicine, you will probably be deprived on maybe this element that you need, so you probably need to supplement with
Talk to
it
a
so you feel
pharmacist.
better.
Right.
Yeah, and also like also asking more people and do some reading and look into it, like
Right.
if you
Advocate for yourself.
yeah, when you're getting a new medical drug, you really need to go through side effects and what could it, because and this is funny because this has happened my mom a couple of times. She's like, like I started taking something and then something else started to happen, and then I went back and started reading like the information. It's just like, well, this is happens one in 100,000 people. She was one of them, and she had a side effect, and she's like, well, I'm getting worse by eating it, and it's supposed to help me. So like, yeah, the doctor had to give her something else
Right.
that worked better with her.
Right.
And I think that it's so important that you're actually looking into it and have an understanding on how things are interacting.
Yeah, listen, I agree with you. And me personally, I'm a big fan of don't take pills for sadness and depression. I always say cognitive therapy. There's studies out there, millions of the studies say cognitive therapy, talk therapy is more powerful than taking pills, because as we talked about, some of these pills can make you suicidal, can make you more
Training
depressed.
too, which has been
Well,
proven.
hello.
Like, yeah,
Exercise is
yeah.
probably right. And I use BetterHelp, and they should be paying me. But I mean, like, BetterHelp on
How
is
many
an
how
app.
many how many how many times have we mentioned Better Health
And I swear to
so
God, they
far?
really should.
No, it's a tremendous company that, like, I think it makes it so much more available for
Yeah, or
people that need.
Talkspace.
Yeah, it's tremendous. It's
And Matt,
like I hope this is like a new era of how we actually, like, how technology can actually really, really help us and move
and it
forward.
does. It is. A lot of
Yeah,
lives are being saved. And Magnus, I think you hit on something too. But people love pills. They want to just a quick fix.
yeah.
Let me take a pill. Exercise will help cure your depression. Daily exercise will help with proper nutrition. Talking to a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. But I would say stop. Don't go so quick to the pills. If you have your nutritionist, dietitian, or you're looking at your diet, getting proper sleep, you're talking to somebody, a therapist, a rabbi, a priest, a pastor, whatever, and you're exercising, my personal opinion, you're not going to need pills. And trust me, very few people are as neurotic and high strung as I am. I'm Magnus. Before we got on, I told you I think I'm dying. Every day I'm dying from something new, and I had to learn how to breathe, how to eat better. I go to therapy. I exercise, and now magically I don't need pills. And you can say, "Oh, I don't have the time." I run 3 businesses. Okay, I don't have the time either. You fucking make the time. Okay, just stop. You don't get the money. There's a ton of free shit out there. Stop.
But Anthony, I think you bring up a really, really good point. Is that you like sooner or later you need to prioritize your health. Like if once you actually understand like that you don't have your health, that's gonna be your main priority, and you are forced to work on it. So that's why
And
I'm like,
you got to get this straight. And
yes,
every
we
single
always
human on
talk
Earth,
about that.
every human on every
If
human on Earth has mental
mental
health,
and
or I like to say
physical
mind health.
health, yeah, mental and
Once you get
physical
this
health,
straight, you can break a leg, you can have a physical disease. The mind has to be on point.
yeah.
You know, physical ailments. I don't care what the physical ailment is. You can, yes, physical ailments can kill you, but you need your mind right. You don't want to lose that mind. So, and people
Can I
listening,
add a story
a
to
lot
that?
we can do about that. Yes, Magnus. And by
So,
the way, real quick, I'm not saying don't go on meds, but first, don't be so quick for the meds. I mean, again, have you looked at your nutrition,
yes.
your exercise, your sleep, talk therapy? Once you've exhausted that for 6 months, whatever, that's my opinion, then maybe talk about pills. But anyway, psychiatrists are going to be quick to want to put you on pills. I would say talk to a psychologist first. But go ahead, Magnus.
Yeah. So coming that to like feeling good mentally and things like that. So I went through an injury. Like how many years did that now ago? I think it's like 7 years or something. No, it's more. It's like 8 years, 9 years. So I basically I tore my bicep tendon
No
down in
shit.
my elbow, uh, and I was like, oh, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And luckily, I had a good support system. I had my physical therapist basically pointed me in the right direction, got me to go to the right hospital and the right ER. And they basically said that yes, you need to have surgery. That got taken care of. But as soon as we kind of knew what it was, and I sat down with my physical therapist, or we didn't sit down, we were actually chatting, and we set up a game plan straight away about like, this is what the rehab is going to look like. How often am I going to see her? What am I doing? I also start looking into finding research papers on how you actually recover from an injury like that. So we went through it. So I was so ready. Like even before surgery, I was so pumped out by actually getting surgery, and then like getting to go like starting my like physical therapy of recovering basically straight away. So we had a plan set and things like that, and I felt so content and ready for it just because mentally I was prepared for everything. I was mentally prepared to do it. I knew what I had to go through. Of course, it's like roller coaster up and down, but it was pretty mellow.
Yeah.
Like and that was
Well, you
just like,
prepped yourself.
yes, and exactly like I said, but like mentally I had everything like lined up and
Yeah.
sorted out. I knew what was going on before it happened.
Yeah. And Magnus,
And
yeah.
physically I recovered. Like I like my recovery was like went tremendously, but I think that had a lot to do that mentally I was already okay with what was. I just saw it as a new project. That was
Right.
just a new goal to get like
No,
back to health.
you're 100% right. And I think, people should listen to what you're saying about that. Right. Like, yeah, advocate. We are the CEOs of our own health. And like you said,
Yes.
you researched, you prepped yourself, it didn't make you bulletproof or perfect, but at least you helped yourself, and folks, there's free help, 988, I believe it's called, nationwide. If you have mental health or mind health issues, it's free. You can call your local board of health or city board of health and advocate for yourself. Go, hey, I need help, or I'm looking for help.
That's the
I
thing
get
though.
it. Nobody wants to ask for help. It's humbling. I totally get
Yeah,
that. But winners
but you're
ask
not
for help.
alone. You're not alone. I mean, it's the same thing. Like understanding, like when it comes down to it, like look at a star athlete, for instance. It's not a single person. Yes, they're the front runner, but they have a whole team around them.
Yeah.
Like looking at Michael Jordan, he had like medical
Of course.
doctors, he had trainers,
trainers.
nutritionists, he had massage therapists,
Right.
he had mental. Again, he had mental
Therapy, right.
coaches for him to actually
Of course.
become the star.
The best that is, yeah.
Yes.
Magnus, again, and I know someone might say, well, Magnus, I ain't got the money that Jordan has. No, we're not saying that. We're saying even if you have $0, you can get a support staff around you. There's
Yes,
always help. You think me and Magnus are Michael Jordan? You think we're billionaires and millionaires? No, we're average
I
people.
wish.
Yeah, right. But I was saying we're average people just like everybody else. And I'm here to tell you, all of us can attain a team. You have friends, you have family.
Yep,
Again, your church, your rabbi, your community group, 988 free help, your local board of health, your city board of health. They're there to help you. It's free. No
yep,
excuses, man. It's just no excuses. Now, listen, you want to suffer and hurt yourself. I hope you don't, but that's your prerogative. But there's help for you. There's a team for you. It's out there. But the first stride is the longest. It's hard to say, I need help. I know
yep.
when I went to therapy for the first time over, I don't know, maybe about 20 years ago, I felt like a piece of shit. I felt like I'm a loser. And here I am, I own 3 businesses. I went to grad school and I got my shit together.
You're a highly successful person.
Thank you. But going to therapy really broke me down, like stripped that away from me because I thought, oh, only crazy people go to therapy. I'm a loser. Like I'm going to therapy. Like I felt ashamed. But excuse me, commercial break. Robitussin. Oh, they should be fucking paying me too. Anyways, but I mean, my point is, it's not that I went to therapy. It's the fact that I said I need help, that I admitted
Yeah,
I need help,
yeah.
and that help could be anything: financial help, spiritual help, physical health, help in marriage, friendship, whatever it is. It's hard to say I need help. But that's how champions are made. That's why Jordan is the best. That's why LeBron is the best. That's why Tiger Wood is the best. They get help. They have help. And they're not better than us as humans. They're equal to us. And so if you're listening to this, you deserve the best. The help is out there for you. You can do it. You just have to swallow your pride and cut the shit, because none of us, I'm not better than you. You're not better than me, but you have to go. And a lot of the help is discreet. It's a phone call away. You don't have to have a fucking parade to go into the, office of a psychologist or something like that. But it was funny because when I went to the psychologist in Manhattan many years ago, I mean, I fucking went like Pink Panther. I had the fucking hat on. I'm like, meanwhile, Manhattan, how many millions of people are they're gonna know me? You know what I mean? But my luck, what's funny? I wouldn't be surprised if somebody, because I have been spotted in the city for just bullshit stuff, like going out to dinner, and I would hear, people go, "Yo, Anthony!" I'm like, "What? Holy shit!" Like, so I guess a little bit of me was like, my luck. It'll be like an ex-girlfriend or something like that. Like, what are you doing here? Oh shit! But anyways, my point is, and guys don't want to admit like, oh, I'm not getting a colonoscopy. I'm not getting my prostate checked. Like, I'm not going to do that, because they're afraid, because they're prideful, because they think, well, like, I don't get sick. Like I have a cousin of mine that used to brag, I haven't been to the doctor in 30 years.
That's
I
nothing to
wouldn't brag
brag
about that.
about.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
brag about that. That's like saying you've never gotten your car serviced either. You're a fucking idiot,
yeah.
anyways. But, and then sure enough, and I'm glad my cousin is fine. Thank God. But he had a heart issue. And my thing is like, I didn't say this to him, but it's like, I don't know. I wonder, maybe if you had a yearly physical, you would have caught that sooner. And thank God nothing ultimately bad happened. But if you're only going to go to the doctor when you're sick, I don't know about that. And if you're only going to go to a therapist when you're about to jump off a fucking bridge, it might be almost too late. Like, get ahead of it, address the daily stress. I talked to my therapist just about my daily stress, about my phobias of, I'm the biggest fucking chicken on earth. I think every time I get into the car, I'm going to die. I think every time I go cycling, I'm going to get hit by a bus. Like, that's what I talk to them about. Like, I'm very, high strung, very on edge. So we talk about that, and it doesn't have to be something, and it is a serious thing, but it doesn't have to be like, you know what I mean? Like, I think people think I'm only going to go to therapy if it's like, I'm about to kill myself. Like, no, therapy can just be like, my therapist has taught me how to deal with my stress, so giving me the tools.
Yeah,
Everyone has stress.
it's
So come on.
like being proactive is better than being reactive, right? That's in
Right.
most
Well,
cases.
Magnus, there's an old saying, you can find the problem or the problem can find you.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
choice. What do you want?
You rather find the problem
You
and
better get
solve
ahead
it
of it.
as quickly as possible. No, I mean it comes down to this too. It's like I think that people are reading into it too much too. Like, a therapist is basically a coach. or it is a coach. That's
It
how
is a
I see it.
coach. Yeah.
So it's someone that, like you said, they give you new tools to your toolbox to deal with certain things in life, and it doesn't have to be life or death things either. It's just like, like, oh, I always get mad when I'm driving a car. Okay, why do you get that? Get some
Right.
tools to actually
Right.
deal with it, so you're not getting frustrated and angry in traffic.
Yeah. And
So,
again,
for instance,
I have ignorant people that I know that say, I don't need therapists. I just need $80,000. No, you
then you
need
got
therapy because
then you're gonna have like, what you're gonna use those $80,000 for something, and you're probably gonna end up even in an even worse
yeah,
situation
I
than
mean
you had
that's a
before.
loser mentality to say, "Oh, I just
Yeah,
need the money." No, you
yeah.
fucking asshole. You need a therapist. I don't want to say who said this to me, but it's somebody close to me, and I just shake my head. I'm like, "This is why you got the problems you have."
That's
Like,
why they should. That's why they should listen to you and I when we're speaking.
right, right. And by the way, I'm not some expert, but I mean, like, I'm saying to this person, like, no, you need we need help. We all need help, and I get it. It'd be nice to have $1 trillion, but even billionaires and millionaires and guys and girls who have 80,000, they have problems too.
Or
There's not.
famous actors that just happened,
Right. He had a bunch of
he,
$80,000. He's
yeah,
dead now.
and he's
So
seen as a successful guy, and that's understanding too. Like, mental health could actually, like, go and makes us having issues. Like, it could happen to anybody, and even the most successful people have problems with it too. So don't think that it's like, oh, it's just me, and that's like there's something wrong
it's
with it.
not just
No,
you. It's
no.
all of us. It's me.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Magnus. It's our friends.
Yeah.
Everyone. If you have a brain in your fucking head, you have mental health. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you have a body, you're gonna have body health problems. I mean, hello. It's
Yeah.
normal to have issues. That's how the body. No machine is perfect. All machines have glitches and breakdowns. This is our bodies are machines, folks. And so, but anyways, yeah. So that's that. Magnus, anything else before we wrap up?
Yes. One thing: like, subscribe, follow.
Closing on 200
That's
subscribers.
and give us some more feedback, comments. We love hearing things from you guys.
That's right. That's right. All right, dude. I'm signing us out, Magnus. Thank you as always. Thank you, everybody. Check back in. Signing out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.